Hey everyone, my name is Megan. Welcome to our channel. Happy Friday. I will be posting here every Friday, and my main topic that I will be talking about are books. So I thought, what better way to get to know me and get to know my taste in books by doing the Get to Know You book tag. The first question on this tag is, what is your favorite book? That's such a hard question. Narrow it down to two books I really enjoy and have. Well, one of them I have for a while. One of them is a book I read pretty recently. But two of my favorite books include The Book Thief by Marcus Zosk, I think his name is pronounced. It follows our main character, who is a young girl living in Germany during World War II. Probably my absolute favorite part of this book is the fact that the narrator of it is deaf. And I think that adds a really unique component. One of my other favorite books is called A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. This book is fairly new. I think it came out last year. It follows the story of our main character Monty as he is traveling with his sister Felicity and his best friend and crush Percy. They are going on a tour around Europe before he has to take over his father's estate, which he is less than excited for. As most stories go, things don't go quite as planned and a huge adventure happens. And the next question is, what was your favorite book 5 years ago? So I had to really think about this one because 5 years is quite a while ago. The first book that came to mind when I was thinking back to this was the book Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Royale. Eleanor and Park is a book told in dual narrative by Eleanor and Park. They meet on the bus one day and the story tells of their unlikely friendship and everything going on in their lives. The next question is, what is your favorite duology, trilogy, or series? I again narrowed it down to two of my current favorites. The first is a duology. It is The Abyss Surrounds Us and The Edge of the Abyss by Emily Skrutsky. It follows our main character Cass, who has been raised on the shore as what is known as a reckoner trainer. Reckoners are basically these giant sea monsters that people on the shore use to protect their boats as they are traveling to different locations because pirates are everywhere. But one day Cass goes on her first solo mission and things go wrong and she is captured by pirates. Things just get crazy from there. The other series I really love, and it's a series called The Wayward Children. This is by, I believe, Shannon McGree. The series so far consists of 3 books, though I believe there's going to be a few more, or at least one more. The first one is called Every Heart a Doorway, the second one is called Down Among the Sticks and Bones, and the third one, which was released fairly recently, is called Beneath the Sugar Sky. These books take place in a world where when children are unhappy or in bad situations, many of them fall through doorways into these other worlds, which are their perfect worlds. But the main characters in these books are the unfortunate children who stumble back out of their doors and unable to cope, and with parents who oftentimes don't believe that this happened to their child, they end up at this school. Here at this school, many of them are looking for their ways back into these worlds. The first book follows our main character Nancy as she tries to find her door and as crazy things happen at this school. The second book is a prequel following 2 of the other main characters, Jack and Jill, and detailing their adventures in their world. And the third book I won't really tell you much about because it is a direct sequel to the first book. The next question is, what is the last book that you've read? And I just finished The Edge of the Abyss earlier today. What was the last book of poetry you read? So I don't actually read a ton of poetry, though I've been meaning to read more of it. I think the last poetry book I read was called Milk and Honey. The next question is, what book has influenced your life the most? And this probably doesn't come as much of a surprise. This is probably a fairly common answer, but Harry Potter. Harry Potter has been a series that has been a part of my life pretty much my whole life. The first movie came out when I was 6 years old. The first Harry Potter book was probably one of the first books I ever really enjoyed reading by myself. I struggled with reading for a really long time as a child, so when I finally was able to read that on my own, it felt like such a big deal. Then I read the whole series by myself when I was in middle school. Before that, they were read to me, and that was just a super fun experience. I started making YouTube videos because of Harry Potter. One of my first channels was a Harry Potter collab channel with some of my friends, quite a few years back now. I started watching YouTubers because of Wizard Rock, which is music that people used to make all about Harry Potter. Another thing that started really getting me to watch YouTube videos was I found a little musical called A Harry Potter Musical, which is now almost celebrating its 9th year on YouTube, which is insane. I made friendships through Harry Potter. I've read other books because of Harry Potter. It's just had a huge impact in my life, so there you go. The next question is, what was a book that made you ugly cry? I think the last book that I read that made me ugly cry was probably a book called They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This book follows our main characters, Mateo and Rufus, as they get a call from what's known as Deathcast. Deathcast calls you on the day that you are going to die, giving you the information that you are going to die. They don't know exactly when, aside from it will be within the next 24 hours. They don't know how you're going to die. They just tell you you're going to die. So our main characters, Mateo and Rufus, use another app that was created called The Last Friend in order to try and find someone to spend their last day with for various reasons. They meet up and it is just great. But I think just from the title, I don't really have to explain why I ugly cried. What character would you like to be for a day? I'm actually going to reuse one of my books and say that I think it'd be kind of fun for one day, just one day, to be Monty from A Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue. But you know, going to some parties, living in a historical world would just be super cool. The next question is, what is a book that was so good you dreamt about it? And I actually don't think I have an answer. I don't really have dreams about the books I read. I've had so many books I've loved, but I don't generally remember my dreams. But maybe, I guess I probably dreamt about Hogwarts at some point, so Harry Potter. Question is, what is one book that you didn't finish? I very rarely don't finish books, and usually when I don't finish them, it's because I've gotten distracted, and I usually eventually go back to them and read them. But one book that I definitely didn't finish was the book Eon. It is a series, and I was going to go back and finish it. I started it, got distracted by another book, and here we are. But now that I watch a lot of booktubers and a lot of book reviews, I haven't heard great things about this book, so I've decided that I'm just not gonna finish it. The last question is, what book are you most excited for? And I have two answers for this. A book on my list is called A Darker Shade of London by V.E. Schwab. I don't know a ton about this book aside from it's supposed to be amazing. The only thing I really know about this book so far is that it follows our main character who has the ability to travel between the different Londons. There's like parallel universes. He is a magician, he travels between the Londons and things happen. And it's supposed to be really good, and I've been meaning to read it for a long time. The other book that I am so excited for that hasn't been released yet but will be released in the next few months is called Out of the Blue by Sophie Cameron. It just sounds like a really good book. Our main character is a girl whose mother just passed away recently, and all of a sudden angels start falling from the sky. No one really knows what to do, but one day the main character comes across an angel who is still alive, and things go crazy from there. I don't know too much about the book aside from that, that the main character is both bisexual and disabled, which are two things that I am, so that makes me super excited. Hey guys, future editing Megan here. I realized as I was editing that I forgot two things. One, I missed question number 8, which is, what is a book that has made you laugh? And my answer to that is Nimona by Noelle Stevenson. This is a graphic novel about a young shapeshifter who decides to team up with a supervillain named Blackheart. Super funny, and I highly recommend it. And And I also wanted to say a quick bye. I realized I never closed out this video, so I hope everyone is having a great Friday. I hope you are enjoying our videos so far. Someone posts every day, so you should hit that subscribe button and like this video and all that fun stuff. Have a great day, everyone. See you next Friday. Bye!